are on the road to Kentucky. This is my first time ever hunting Kentucky. It's actually my first time ever traveling east of Missouri to hunt, so kind of excited about that. Haven't done it. Hooking up with my buddy Kyle Gross down there. Kyle's got the ground. He's been getting some trail camera pictures of some deer on some big tines, so I don't know, really excited about it. High hopes. Hopefully we can get a whitetail down in Kentucky and get back home for our opener, but we'll see what happens. We got about a week down there, so hopefully the deer show up and we can get one down. Is your mic on?
Yeah.
The camera's not level.
Huh?
Is your camera level? Here we go.
There it is.
That's it. Alright, so we're gonna hang some stands. We had pictures of deer in here this morning.
Yep.
That was hitting some big tines, so we're gonna try to slide in here and be a little bit quiet, but slide in here and get a double hung. Maybe he'll come back this evening in the daylight. Maybe he'll come back tomorrow. I don't know. We'll be ready for him though. Gonna put a camera up here, swap it out, put a stand up, see what happens. Hopefully we get one kill.
Hey, give Dad a kiss. Hey.
Psst, Hudson.
Look.
Focus. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
All right, so I travel around a lot early to a lot of different states and try to get some hunting done. It just seems like here in Missouri, it's just tough hunting. We have crops in. A lot of our deer live in the crops that time of the year. Acorns are dropping, so if they are eating acorns, they're usually laying under the tree. You just can't get on them. So this last year, we came back around October 12th, I believe, and I talked to Robbie. Robbie had been running some cameras, and he pulled the card on the specific farm where this buck was that I knew I wanted to take. He was an old deer, probably scoring in the 50s, and not real wide, but just a nice deer. And Robbie had pictures of him, said he daylighted a couple times, and we knew we had a really big cold front, like a 35-degree cold front coming in 2 days. So we kind of set everything up to go hunt that deer on that day, and it would be my first set in Missouri. We were excited to get there, and it's always nice when you're wearing your winter gear in mid-October.
Full Draw Adventures is brought to you by the Ultra Rest by Quality Archery Designs, America's Archery Accessories. Sitka, turning clothing into gear. Dead Center Archery Products, American-made precision-engineered stabilization solutions. And Shine's Scents, make a deer's nose his worst enemy.
We're in central Missouri. It's October 14th or 15th, I think 15th. So we had a cold front come through yesterday. It's about 37 degrees, so we're hunting a little bit earlier. I usually don't like to hunt this early in October, especially mornings, but we've been seeing some pretty decent activity. And the cold temps kind of had these bucks kind of feeling it, so we had some deer out in the field towards the truck, but haven't seen a buck yet, so we'll see what happens. Alright, well, it's October 15th. We hunted this morning, saw quite a few deer, but this is a spot where Robbie killed 160-inch deer last year, like November 5th or something like that, but just kind of a big bedding area. We're up on the bluff, and they just kind of walk this bottom edge of it. There's some scrapes, or scrape over my shoulder, and a couple other big scrapes we've had a covert on for the last couple weeks, and got a buck in here that's daylighted probably 3 or 4 times. That he's not a real giant, but he's an old deer. He's 5, and we followed him all the way through growth this year on the other side of the farm, and he moved over here when he went hardhorn. So We're gonna see if he showed up. His name's Dirty. Hopefully we can kill him. So we get to the tree about 3 o'clock. We knew from the trail cameras that he'd been moving around 5:30, and just got in, got settled down, and just kind of waited for the deer movement to start. So as we're sitting there, I noticed there's 2 does kind of working through the bottom up towards the bluff that we're sitting on, and they got about, I'd say 150 yards away, and they got nervous and they turned around and ran back into the timber. We were kind of wondering what's going on, kind of shaking our heads, but I took advantage of the commotion, picked up my grunt call and just started doing some short grunts, some chasing grunts, just so if that buck was in the area, we knew that maybe he would think there was a little buck just chasing does up there. Well, it didn't take long, and all of a sudden I noticed movement off to my left. As I lean around the tree trunk in front of me, I noticed that it's the buck we're in there after. So as he's coming closer, we're kind of getting prepared for the shot, thinking he's just going to take this trail and walk right by us. Lo and behold, he stops at 14 yards behind the cover of a tree and starts raking this giant tree and kind of showing some dominance. So after I've watched this buck rub this tree for probably a good minute and a half, he finally walks away from the rub and starts coming down right in front of us at 14. Meh. I don't know if they got through there. Once we got back to the truck, started looking at the footage, and we noticed that, you know, the shot placement was good, but there was just no penetration at all. And I was really worried that I didn't get through that front shoulder blade. So we gave him time, left him for about 6.5 hours. We figured that would give him enough time. If we did get through the shoulder, he would be dead for sure. If we didn't, then he would live. So for the next day and a half, we literally grid searched the entire north part of that farm. I looked through a giant bean field, walked through every ditch that was there, never found any more blood, never found the deer, and just really were scratching our heads thinking, man, we don't know, don't know what happened, don't know where he is. So we put the cameras back out, we got them rolling, kind of put a couple more in that area just to see if we could get a picture. And lo and behold, at noon, the day that I was actually in the farm looking for him, that next day, he walks by one of our covert cameras. So ultimately, the situation was unfortunate, but it does, I guess, have a happy ending. I'm glad that he made it. I'm excited to see what he is this year. I don't know what this wound's going to do to him, but he's definitely up and kicking. So we're going to have the cameras out for the ghost season, and hopefully he does something special.
This segment brought to you by Matthews Archery.
Today's Sitka tip of the week is proper anchor and proper peep height. You cannot have the proper peep height until you have the proper anchor. And a proper anchor is always going to be full draw, proper elbow placement, proper anchor right under your ear and between your ear and the turn in your jawline. In order to establish your proper peep height, you now have your proper anchor. and you draw the bow, and then you close your eyes, you pull the bow to you into the proper anchor, and you get everything settled in, and you open your eyes. Wherever you're looking naturally is exactly where your peep height should be. Hopefully you have your knocking point and D-loop already set, and at that point you're going to have your peep heights to get started somewhere between 4 3/4 and 6 inches. For a shorter guy with a shorter draw length, you're going to be closer to the 4 3/4. For the really tall guy, closer to 6 inches. For the average guy, you're going to be somewhere in the middle. So to ensure your success, go to your local dealer and get fitted for the right peep height.
It is November 9th. Tonight is the last night before Missouri's rifle season. So we are trying to get it done. We've seen a lot of bucks. We just got in here about noon. We waited till the wind got strong. You have to have a strong wind for this spot. I filmed Jamie kill a buck out of here. Gosh, I think it was 3 or 4 days ago. But this spot's just a hammer for the rut. Big, like 8 acres of CRP up above us. We're on a big oak ridge, and these bucks just travel the crap out of it. So we got in here and got set up, and we had a little 6-pointer come run the doe just super hard, running all the way by us and out of here. So she's hot. She's mouth open. She's got to be closed. So we're just gonna sit it out. Hopefully we can get something killed. See what comes by. Maybe something big enough.
So it's always hard to get back in the tree after you have a situation like that happen, but we did it, and we got back in the tree, hunted all through the rut. We just grinded it out, had tons of encounters, but just couldn't seem to get anything killed in front of us. So we go all the way through the rut, all the way through post-rut, and we're all the way into December now. And now the game's changed. We have got really, really cold temperatures, and everything's about food.
Full Draw Adventures is brought to you by True Ball Archery, the real #1. Anyone can claim it, we can prove it. Axel Sights and Scopes, leading technology, proven results. Black Eagle Arrows, the best precision carbon arrows. Ozonics, undetectable, undeniable. And SWAT Broadheads, drain your game.
Alright, well, it's December 4th, and we're going to go into a ground blind. We've got an Osage plot. Just go up the cedar ditch and get up in here. Got a little sunshine right now, but it's going to get overcast. Supposed to even maybe snow a little bit this afternoon, so we're just going to get in here early. It's about 11 o'clock now, and see if we can get something killed in here today.
So we noticed after running some cameras and doing some scouting that our turnip plots were getting smashed. We had put a pop-up blind on one particular farm just for the hopes that the winter weather would come and put these deer on their feet in the daylight on the food plots. As it usually does, does started out first, and man, they were out in the field eating turnips. We got some really cool footage of some does chomping on turnips and eating them whole, and that was pretty cool to see. But we knew as it started to get darker that our bucks would start showing up. So as the evening kind of progressed, we didn't have really any shooters out there, and I was already ready to go back home. I was getting cold and it was getting dark, and all of a sudden I look up and this buck steps out. He's at 45 yards, comes right out of the timber. So initially when this buck comes out, I'm ranging him, and he comes right into about 40. And I go ahead and draw my bow, get ready to shoot him, and lo and behold, there's one yearling doe out there, and she gets directly in between me and him and just stands there and eats and eats and eats. So I'm holding it and I'm holding it, and finally I just tell Austin, I'm like, I gotta let this thing down. So I let the Matthews down and just kind of set back and wait for her to clear. So it takes her a little bit. She finally gets out of the way. So again, tell Austin, are you on him? He says yes. Draw my bow again. Finally, he gets to where he turns and can provide a broadside shot for me. Ask Austin if he's got him. He says yep, and we let the arrow go.
He zipped. He zipped. No, we went back and forth. We gave him some time. Gosh, we gave him what? John came down from Haynesville, so probably a good 45 minutes to an hour. And then we watched the video back, and on video, he ducked so hard that it looked like it's a really high hole. And it is a high hole, but thought we got lung for sure. Got back, looked at the arrow. Arrow didn't look great, so I kind of waited for John to get here. And then we just decided, hey, we're going to try him. If he goes more than 100 yards, we're going to back out. And he didn't go, what, probably 80 maybe 100 total off the thing. So super cool deer though. This is what we came in here to do. I got pictures of this dude last week down low, and just an old mature 8-pointer, and that's what this farm's notorious for, just having old 8s on it. And he was one we wanted to get out of here. A great deer to kill, and man, it gets the monkey off my back. I've had a heck of a time in Missouri getting the deer killed with my bow, but super glad, super proud of this dude for sure. So we got some work to do to get him up. He's not too far off the field, I guess, but we'll get him up and get him out of here and get a tag on him, and now the work begins.
So ultimately it was a season of ups and downs like they usually are. To have an encounter with 2 great bucks in 1 year is a blessing no matter the outcome. But ultimately we came out of it with some lessons learned and a good deer to go on the wall.